to start talking about my first co-driver, and it was a temporary team, and racism. That's a complex topic, and it's difficult to explain, but my first co-driver told me I was a racist because I wouldn't have sex with him, which I thought was a low blow. Having that going on, part of it was because I didn't want to explain myself to him. I didn't feel like I needed to explain myself, my dating habits, my personal choices in men to him. I was there to work. I wasn't there to date. And to have somebody try to coerce me, to try to pressure me to talk about my personal life, my dating habits, I found that really offensive. And I have not had a chance to really elaborate on it because it's very complex and it's a very touchy subject. So I'm going to talk about that today and some other stuff that I couldn't put into my story because it's too complicated, and the story was already getting complicated because there's so many factors. And when you get into trucking, you bring all of your personal experiences from life that make you the individual that you are, and you meet people from all these other different experiences, and they're always trying to judge you based on their experiences without knowing what you're. So I mean, you waste all this time going, but I'm like this, and I just think that people should mind their own business. If you could find somebody to give your point to in your own carrier, that's the person that can solve the problem. That's the ideal situation. It does help to find somebody that you can vent to, but a lot of times you'll talk to somebody that does not get it at all because they're from like a whole different background and they can't relate at all, and they keep trying to solve your problems based on their limited life experience. And I've had a lot of life experiences. I've had more life experiences than most people have had in their entire life, and I'm only 46. And trying to explain who I am is complex because I have yet to meet anybody that could figure me out, because I can't even figure me out. I have such a diverse personality. I have such diverse tastes. I've been so many places. I've seen so many things. So people are, they spend so much time trying to look at the surface and judge. They never see the problem and how to make the solution to the problem. And I see that in our country right now. People, they're both talking, and neither one of them is listening. Neither one of them can hear what the other one is saying, and so nothing ever gets done. And so now we're in a big mess, and it's just, So we're all going to be like digging for potatoes soon, and that's going to be our fault because we don't listen. So anyway, for the people that do listen and for the people that do want to learn something, I'm going to go on with this story now. So a couple of characters in the beginning of my story are JJ, Tony, and my first team driver that accused me of being a racist. But that wasn't really the point of the section. The section was important because I thought it was a low blow, and I'm going to elaborate more on that first. But JJ makes an appearance in the story for a reason, because JJ represents what I saw in even when I was in college, there's always that one person in the classroom that's disruptive, that no matter what the topic of the classroom is, they try to disrupt the class and take the conversation somewhere else, and it wastes a lot of time. He was always talking about his rich girlfriend, talking about how she paid for this, talking about how she paid for that. But then he'd say, but then let's go and, you know, take her money and spend it on this other girl, this other whore, or this other bitch, or whatever. He always had all this filthy language, and no one wanted to hang out with him, not even the guys. He was just such a jerk. And it was from JJ that I learned that you could get your hazardous materials endorsement without even knowing how to drive a truck. We had just had this highway watch portion of our CDL, and I was, if you don't know what highway watch is, it's a Homeland Security Program from the ATA. In fact, I still have my card. Look at that. Highway watch. Okay, so here we are sitting there listening to this thing about how truck drivers are supposed to keep an eye out for Homeland Security, and, you know, blah blah blah, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, cool, all right, I'm a junior firefighter, I can, you know, I'll help. And then you got this guy that's this total jerk off, who you can tell he's just, nothing about him is safe. He's just a dick, and he can go in there and get a hazardous materials endorsement, and you don't even know if he's going to be able to drive around the block. The two people that got the hazardous materials endorsement were the two biggest loudmouths in the class. Tony was one of them that I teamed up with later, but I'm going to go into that later and why. But he was a safe driver. But they had that sort of hot doggish, concrete cowboy sort of personality. JJ was an asshole. And you know, he was one of those people that's such an asshole that everybody just gets real quiet and they just don't say anything. And that particular type of personality feeds on the silence. They think that they are all powerful, so they keep doing it. And so that my opinion is, when you're silent to somebody like that, you are encouraging them to keep acting like that. Was so offensive to all of us. JJ stands for Jabberjaw, by the way. We used to hide from him on the train when we would take the train back up to northern, you know, up to Palm Beach area. When we took the train, we would hide from him on the train. We would be on the platform and we'd be like, there's JJ, let's go. And we would like get in the car, and then we would haul ass and go hide in another car, and he couldn't find us. Because if he found us, he would sit and he would just go on and on and on. He'd make all this disruption on the train. He'd talk about all these things that were totally offensive to everyone around us. We couldn't get away from him. And anyway, he started getting aggravated that the guys were not hanging out with him. They were hanging out with me. Well, we were hanging out together because we wanted to learn. We didn't want to disrupt. We wanted to get something from what we spent the money for. He didn't care. He was just a dick. So we tried to stay away from him, and it was embarrassing being on the train, and he'd be like the loudest one on the train, talking about how he just used his girlfriend for money and spent it on some other whore, as he called them, or some, we know what I mean? So anyway, we were at the train platform early one morning, and he started jumping on the guy that I was with
they called us the Three Musketeers. Oh, you guys are fags because you want to hang out with a girl. And they didn't want to say anything to him because they want to be polite. And I didn't yell at him. I just very calmly said, no, they don't want to hang out with you because you're a buffoon. Do you not see that you're a buffoon? That people don't want to hang out with you because you're a loudmouth and you're an asshole. That didn't go over very well. It usually doesn't. People that know me know I'm gonna, if you want to dish it out, you better be able to take it, and you better have a very thick skin. And most people don't that dish it out. They don't have a thick skin. And JJ was one of them. JJ had a meltdown on the train platform right there, right then. And it went like this. Fuck you, Desiree, you fucking cunt bitch. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna find you out there when I get my CDL. I'm gonna get your social security number and I'm gonna kill you on the side of the road, you fucking whore, you fucking bitch. That was JJ. It was just like, whoa, dude, maybe you better slow down on that coffee, huh? The guy that was with me just stepped up and said, look, I might be smaller than you, but if you put a hand on her, I'm gonna fucking kill you. He shut up after that. That was the day that we were gonna test out. There was other people that were at their breaking point with JJ at our school. And when they went out to test out, there was about 3 or 4 guys that went on the truck to JJ ended up pissing off this guy, this Puerto Rican guy, and the guy was gonna kick his ass. The instructor threw JJ off the truck before he tested out. He just said, get out of here. Get out. It's enough. Because JJ was so disruptive with everyone in all parts. It was just enough. JJ threw another tantrum. He got in his truck. He went down to the main office and he got his diploma and came to Covenant Transport. The only people that know that JJ never tested out, but he still got his diploma, was me and Tony and the other 5 people that ended up at Covenant Transport. When they scheduled us for our orientation, all of us said, make it the week after JJ goes, because we don't want to deal with him. The guy is a problem. I was taken aback that somebody like this hot dog type personality could just go get a hazardous materials. I mean, the guy has some temper problems, you know, he's got some issues. Why do we want somebody like that having a hazardous materials endorsement that cannot even control his emotions long enough to drive the fucking training truck around the block? Okay. Tony, former drug trafficker, not even got our learner's permit, and he's got a hazardous materials endorsement. That didn't make sense to me. I didn't want to have a hazardous materials endorsement right out from CDL school. I wanted to learn how to drive the truck first. I'm not trying to be super trucker. I don't want to pull hazardous materials. I just wanted to have a job. Now, I do have a hazardous materials endorsement now because it's required for the dedicated account that I'm on. My company hires people with no hazardous materials endorsement, but they would like for you to have one, but then at 6 months they encourage you to have one, and then they'll pay you some more money if you get one, and they'll help you get it. That's great. That's fine if that's what you want to do. But they kind of, I'll go into the hazardous materials thing later, more in depth, but this is a Homeland Security breach I saw right away. Here you got these two people that of the people that were responsible in the classroom, they wanted to learn to drive the truck first. Of the two hot dog personalities, they were like, give me the money. Give me that. I'll take 50 questions and I'll do it. Yeah. We had people fly planes into the World Trade Centers. They went to school to fly planes, but they didn't want to learn how to land them. The school should have said, sounds a little weird to me, you know? Hindsight's 2020. When I took my hazardous materials test, I saw the criteria to qualify for hazardous materials, the background check. You could commit some rather serious crimes and still get a hazardous materials endorsement and pass the FBI background check, as long as you hadn't committed those serious crimes within a certain time period, including sex crimes. Sex crimes are not curable. The only thing, there's very few things that you could be eliminated for. One is mental health issues and recent felony and treason against the country. Somebody from another country that's here on a guest worker or whatever, I mean, they're not in our FBI computer. They don't have a criminal record in the United States. So basing everything off of what's on the FBI thing and all of the holes in this system, I just thought, what are you spending all this money on this Highway Watch program? What you need to be doing is looking at your own friggin' system to give these people carte blanche to drive all over our country. So that was my first introduction to these kind of getting two messages. You know, we like safety, we don't like safety. Give me 50 bucks, give me 90 bucks. We all asked to go to Covenant at different times to specifically avoid running into JJ again.